All right, so is the BJP in denial? Well, joining us tonight to debate the ongoing repercussions of the Jaswant Singh controversy, we're joined by Jaswant Singh himself. Thanks very much indeed. He joins us from New Delhi, where he arrived today from Shimla. Also joining us from Ahmedabad, Jayanarayan Vyas, senior BJP minister from the state which has banned Jaswant Singh's book. Seshadri Chari of the BJP joining us from New Delhi. Swapan Dasgupta, senior journalist and someone who closely tracks the affairs and the politics of the BJP and the RSS, and Vinod Mehta, editor-in-chief of Outlook. Mr. Jaswant Singh, if I can start with you, sir. Today we had the first comprehensive response from the BJP to try and defend why they sacked you. They said that essentially what you wrote in your book, you were free to write a book, but what you wrote in it went against the party's core beliefs. Your reaction to that?
But I don't know what he means by core ideology. Besides, I really don't wish to enter into legalistic contentions with a party that has already expelled me.
So what they said essentially is that your stand, I'll come to Sardar Patel later, but they said that your stand on Jinnah particularly goes against the party's view of Jinnah, which they'd clarified shortly after the Advani visit, saying that Jinnah was clearly the villain of partition and that you somehow were trying to defend him.
It's incorrect. I have, towards the last chapter of my book, finally concluded that the partition was caused, if there is to be one single great reason for it. It was a combination of factors, of course, but if it was to be caused, it was on account of Jinnah's continued intractability and of his changing the position. I have rebutted the question of his two-nation theory. I don't know what is meant by eminent lawyers, but it's not my intention now to go into that.
All right, I'll come back to you in a second, Mr. Jaswant Singh. But if I can just go across to you, Jayanarayan Vyas, Jaswant Singh's answers on the contents of his book make us ask the question, we've been asking BJP leaders this question since yesterday, that have any of you actually read the book? For instance, have you or Mr. Narendra Modi actually read the book before you decided to ban it in Gujarat?
Well, I would say that I can't comment on behalf of the Honorable Chief Minister. I am sure he must have gone through the relevant text. But I also have had an opportunity to browse through some of the paragraphs which were, I would say, sometimes you can pass a slang by remaining quiet, sometimes by making references which are inadequate and drawing conclusions. So I think it has been done after a mature thinking, and there is no substance in saying you don't have to read entire 752 pages of the book.
No, that's true. You don't have to read all 752 pages. But for instance, you seem to have taken great offense to what Jaswant Singh has said against Sardar Patel. Now, I actually went through the book. There are about 7 references to Sardar Patel, none of which seem to really give you any reason to feel so offended. Can you give me one instance in the book, specifically, which you believe is so critical of Sardar Patel that you felt it necessary to ban it?
Is that suppose sometimes, you know, you do not say it in so many words, and you might remain silent on certain things when you are mentioning. And I'm not bringing personalities into any kind of a debate at this juncture to make them subject matter of criticism. But to say that the partition, the way it took place and Sardar's role is not defined at all. And then you are making some kind of overtures and some kind of conjectures which lead to believe that as if he also accepted what was going on.
All right, can I just put that to you, Mr. Jaswant Singh? I know you've clarified this, but if you could just do that once again. Were you in any way offensive to Sardar Patel in your book, particularly regarding his role in partition?
Tuba.com